What is up, you guys? The Fallout with here. And today I'm doing the what if. What if Deku was the Wolverine? Now, this is part 4, I believe? Or part 3. I will check to see so that way I don't mess it up. Now, if you like the Scorpion what if and you want to watch more of it still, at least get up to 25 likes on the newer Scorpion what if, so that way I can actually do that. And I'll think about seeing what other what ifs that you like that I can do still in like the past. Now, where we last ended off on the what if was Deku and Sergei having the fight along with Kirishima and Sero. Now, these two basically congratulated each other. Deku was interested in Kirishima and how he did his own, like, how he does his own, like, fighting. And even though he wasn't, like, super useful because of the whole tape situation, he still tried his best. And that's what Deku liked, that he tried at least. To at least break out and not just be like, well, I'm stuck here. But, after all that, Deku goes home with his crew. And basically, Deku said this, talking with, Gwen. And Gwen actually stops Deku and tells the rest to go, and that they have to talk about something. Gwen and Logan start making out. Or at least, you know, giving each other some kisses and all that stuff. Now, the reason why I never said that these two were just automatically shipped was because these two are going out in secret. Although they talked about going out publicly. Deku, though, he still has somebody in his mind that he needs to help out, and that is Bakugo. Now, Gwen already knows about the whole Bakugo situation, how Bakugo was gone for, how, like, you know, Bakugo actually cared about him, and was actually nice to him, and, you know, he actually cared about Deku so much that he grew to like him, actually. Like I said, he's not just full. It's not going to be a sausage party. It's just the fact that there's some sausage, but there's also some sushi. So at least we have that. Now, after all that, Gwen talks to Deku and she makes it known that it's like, if we add another person, there's gonna be more rules. We're not going to automatically start just giving everybody, you know, an invitation. This is just a once in a lifetime thing that they're going to do. Nothing more, nothing less. And Deku was like, wait a minute. Do you think it's gonna go that way? And this is when Gwen says, yes, I know, even though Bakugo you think he just cares about you, he has more intentions than that. I kind of figured it out after the way he looked at you and he was happy. Now, during the whole fight with Sergei, Deku was fighting, and when he was like showing off his moves, Bakugo had this this look in his eyes, just like he had the same look that Gwen would have for Deku. And Bakugo is a sane person, and, you know, Gwen is not. So she understands that what he's feeling is real, and what she's feeling is real as well. But she's crazy, and you know what happens when Logan meets somebody crazy. He's not going to care that much, actually. I actually don't know what happens if he's crazy. This was all a lie to get you guys to make sure that you made the same mistake as me. But anyway, I'm an idiot. So, after that, these two go home walking hand in hand. And Deku is contemplating here. Should he ask him to join the two? Or should he just stay friends with him? Because, first of all, Bakugo doesn't look like he's not all muscle and stuff. Sure, he has muscle, but he has a good figure, like what a girl would have. And yeah, like I said, in this situation, yeah, Bakugo's a bottom. So, anyway, Deku just starts, walking home, and while the contemplating is happening, there's a robbery, and Deku was checking out to see what was happening. Now, while this was happening, he started to run, and he started to smell something that he smelled a long time ago. But he doesn't know what it is. So, Deku meets a creature that is, hold on here. So, basically, Deku sees this dark hooded figure, and Deku tries to attack him, but the creature basically moves at a very fast pace, and Deku has to try to, find a way to get him. So, these two are fighting, and Deku is trying to punch him, or at least grab that hood that he has. But it's not as easy. It's not easy at all. Deku tries to grab him, but the figure or the creature or whatever it is basically is, grabbing him instead and slams him to the ground. Not only that, pushes his face down on the inside the rubble and just keeps stomping at him. This is when Gwen basically cuts the creature, and it basically lets off a small growl. And Gwen is like, "All right, I did it." And then basically it punches her, and she says, "Never mind," and basically falls down as fast as she got up. Now, Deku, enraged, basically just starts attacking. He's swiping, and he's basically doing movements the same as the creature, or at least the hooded figure, until the hooded figure trips, and then Deku basically has the time to attack, grabbing him and basically ripping off, or at least taking off that hood. And this is when he sees something unusual. This is when he sees this right here, a beastman. Not only that, claws as sharp. It looks to be the same kind of sharpness as his freaking claws. It's almost as if that he too was given adamantium. And Deku smells the metal on him, but he smells him. He doesn't know who he is, but he knows that smell from somewhere. Deep down in his heart, he's trying to remember, but he doesn't. You all probably know who he is, but, gotta keep it, just like a mystery still for those who don't understand. Now, this is when he starts to punch him, but the creature's kick basically sends him flying, and Deku tries to get up again, but is stopped by freaking Kurogiri. This is when what's called, he's basically in a portal and just basically in the very like in the air as well, and then he slams down into the wall, into the floor. Then he's basically trapped in another portal. Then after that, doing the same thing again. This is when Shigaraki talks to him and says, my, look at you. The one who got away from it all. You know, we tried to give the doctors and give everybody a chance to try to get you back, but they couldn't find you at all. They tried their best, but their best wasn't enough. So, you probably don't know who we are, and we know who you are, so as long as we do know that much for a fact, we're not going to kill you. We're going to take you and get you some testing. But this is when he hears a shot, and it hits Shigaraki, grazes him, and this is when they see Frank Castle, and Frank basically is in his Venom suit, and this is when Sergei is charging up, as well as Mystique, and Gwen is already up and ready to go at it again. But this is when Shigaraki says, you know what, we're gonna just leave, and he tells Kurogiri to step it up, and they all leave. This is when Deku realizes that smell, that one smell, has to be, it could be, it is. This is when he says, wait a minute, but they're already gone. And Deku is now contemplating on what to do now. Is he going to fight him soon? Are they going to attack him again? They say they were going to steal him, but, he doesn't know for sure. All he knows is that he knows who this mysterious figure is. There's a possibility that he could be saved. He's so different than he was back then. But anyway, Deku goes home, and basically with the Yairozus. Momo was taken already. I didn't say... Oh, hold on here. I didn't say that Momo wasn't still being protected and all that stuff. But I should have added her as well, because they took Momo to her house. And basically, they figured that something was wrong for them to take so long. But in the very end, it doesn't matter. It's now apparent that Deku is going to basically need some more training before he fights this creature. But I'm going to give me a second here, people. Anyway, so I'm back. Now, the whole thing with Deku, I'm not going to, like I said, not going to spill the beans just yet. But Deku does know this guy is going to be a challenge for him. And, well, Deku is going to be in his room. Well, technically in his own room. See, Momo's dad actually said, well, why don't we just give them, their own, living quarters, by themselves, instead of trying to put them all together. Plus, we could, if we space them out, they can basically cover all sides. So Deku is, well, how do I say it? He is, what's the word? He's basically, oh, man, I forgot. He's basically in a meditative state. And this is when he says, hey, buddy, are you there? We need to talk. This is when the rider form basically starts to appear on one side of his face. And he says, what do you need? And Deku replies with, I need your help. What kind of help do you need? I have to fight a certain person. Do you mean that person? Yes, I do. I never knew I was going to meet him. I thought he was dead. But I know one thing's for sure. Either he is dead, or he's basically in a state where I can't communicate with him. I see. What is it that you require of me? That you require of me? I need to use a weapon. A weapon? You have claws. I need something with more range. As you can see, he's basically hold on here. So while meditating, he says, the weapon I desire is something that can be at least long enough to pierce him, and, well, big enough to, throw at him or give him some, to make sure he feels it. This is when he says, but won't that kill him? No, it won't kill him. If it were to kill him, well, he's gonna die either way. Look at him. He's different. They tested him. He's no longer the same person that I knew, that I've known. All I wanted was to meet my brother, and to at least know that he's safe. But no, he is no longer my brother, and he's no longer the brother I once knew. I have to end him. If I do end him, this will be my burden alone. No one will stop me. Alright then. We're going to need to get you something. A mace. No. Longer. A sword. What kind of sword? I don't know. What do you use? Beats me. This is why I hate trying to talk to somebody if I can't even see them first. This is when Deku was trying to say he doesn't know. He likes talking to people face to face. That is his thing. A lot of people do what he does. He wants to talk to them without having to basically look somewhere else. Now that he's looking at him, he can make sense of everything. But they have to go to this place where Ghost Riders, where every rider, in the history has ever been. Or I don't know if I said that correctly. He's going to the place where every Ghost Rider in history has that ever has lived goes to when they're dead. Anyway, so they all see him and they basically welcome him with open arms. There's even some that are in different universes, since hell is one place. From Iron Man to Hulk to even, how do I say it? To even an Iron Man. Oh, hold on. Iron Man. Spider-Man. That's what I meant. So Deku goes and, tries to speak to his, to the Ghost Rider that he knows. And basically, the rider gives him a sword. Give me a second here. Now, I decided to pick what sword it was, and this came up on the picture. This sword is it's a weird sword. As you can see, it has bluish, blackish flames and a weird aura around it. I decided why not? Give him this. This could actually work. So, Deku says, what kind of sword is this? And this is when, well, he calls the sword, I forgot what he calls the sword. He calls it environment. And Deku is like, do you care to elaborate? Well, environment is a sword that's usually good in any situation. Though it cannot heal, it can still cut your enemies down. Not only that, it preserves their souls, so that way you can talk to them yourself. Sure, it's not always used for that. It's basically to kill and to power the sword up with, well, with its own energy. The souls are converted into energy, which makes the sword stronger. Over the years, nobody actually uses the sword anymore because nobody can find it. We left it here because, it's a soul stealer. Why didn't you just call it the soul stealer? Well, it's not me that called him that. It's just the fact that people called it environment, which is a weird name. Agreed. So, are those incantations? No. This is just, to be honest, I don't know myself. The person that wrote it must have had a good reason, but as far as I know, it doesn't serve any purpose besides being activated and looking cool. Deku says, alright then, what do we do now? Well, we go back to your world, and we start devising a plan. You said that was your brother, right? Yes, that is my brother. And as much as I love to speak with him again, I'm going to have to kill him first. Now, after all this happens, they basically go to sleep. And Deku has the sword on him at all times. Even when they're in class. Which, this kind of shocks students and people are scared. But, Deku has a good reason to. And the reason why is because he needs to make sure that nobody dies. Or he doesn't kill anybody. Now, after all that happens, let's see. After all that happens, they go and Deku is just chilling. They're in the bus right now, they're going to do their whole thing, and this is when Deku basically is breathing the air in, because nothing has happened over the past week. Now, freaking Gwen asks Deku, well, what are we going to do over there? It's not like there's anything fun. Deku is saying, I don't know, to be honest, but they're going to probably teach us something about rescuing people, which we have done this stuff in the past, just they want us to do it by the book. This is when Gwen says, but what's the whole point in that? Just kill the person, grab them, take them back to whatever, fancy place they were meant to go to, and, end it off like that. Deku says, that's probably how it could work, but, these people don't want to, how do I say this? They don't want to just die and be scared to death, so I guess, we we gotta be, nice to them. And Gwen says, oh, gosh. Well, at least we get to have each other as company. And Deku says, right. This is when she kicks him in the foot. And Deku says, that doesn't affect me. This is when she starts stabbing him. And Deku says, okay, now that hurts. Would you quit that? This is when she says, no, I don't wanna. And Deku just basically is grabbing her, like pushing her away, and she's basically stabbing him. Just let me stab you. And Deku says, no, what's the whole point of that? I am bored. Just give me some happiness. Deku says, why don't you just do that, without killing me? She says, well, because I like a challenge. And these two start fighting inside the bus, which Bakugo is wondering what the heck's happening, but, he sees Deku and he wants to say something, but he's kind of nervous. So after the whole, scandal goes by, they go and, they go into the... Gosh, sorry about that. They go and they're inside, 13 is there, and Deku and, Gwen. The reason why I say Gwen is because there's actually something that I'm going to surprise you guys with, and you guys just have to hold on for a while. Now, while they're talking, Deku is saying, well, everything's alright. There's a burning building. There's also a lava pit. I could smell bits of the ocean. And he's smelling it, and he's like, I wish I can go to the ocean one day without having everything. And he's just like enjoying the smell until he has the smell of somebody he knows. And we all know who it is. It's his brother. His brother is here, although he doesn't know where he's at. The reason why is because Deku is just like thinking to himself, why do I smell him? There's no possible way he could be here. Until we all realize the one thing that he had. He had a partner in crime that could teleport, and this is when he basically is looking around and he's smelling the air. And what he also smells is blood. A lot of blood. And he didn't realize this, but it's coming off on the other side. And this is when Deku is telling his team, everybody, get ready. And they're all basically in a fighting position. Freaking Sergei, he actually has a weapon. He doesn't just use his hands. That's what makes me confused about him. And the comics, as far as I know, I never seen him to use a freaking weapon, just his bare fist. And I'm thinking to myself, that's good and all, but there's times where his body gets bent and broken, and I'm thinking, why not just, not do that, and somewhat find something that can be used instead of just using his bare fists. Not only that, wear some armor. So in the what ifs that I'm going to do when he's fighting, he's going to have armor on him. He's going to also have freaking weapons. A gun is good, but he's going to have a freaking hatchet. Or, well, technically a battle axe, but that's what I'm going to give him. It may not be the best, but it's something. So, Deku and the others start basically marching towards the place where there's a lot of creatures or a lot of villains, and Deku just says, everybody, there is bad guys here now. We are not going to proceed with whatever you're saying any longer. Either you guys go and we'll fight them off, or you can help us. But either way, those who don't want to come, run away, get some help, and the people who want to stay and fight, good on you, and stay in the front line. And they're like, wait, what's happening? And then the villains just start marching and running towards them. And basically, Kaminari says this, and he's like, I changed my mind, I want to go now. But the only person that is going to go is Ida, because, that whole singing song happens. So when Ida goes and is, the last person to be the last person there since the door's closed, Deku says, alright everybody, listen up. We have to... And all they hear is people, the students yelling and saying, what the heck? Because Kurogiri, per usual, teleports them, and Deku says, everybody, just make sure if you're somewhere, just come to the middle as soon as you're done fighting. And basically the people that heard that, are doing that, I forgot what the word is. He says, oh yeah, okay, we'll do what you say. So the people that are teleported, it's actually Frank over there next by Frank and Mystique with Froppy and and what's his face? Froppy and Mineta. I don't believe Mineta's in here, but at the same time, he has to be here. It's just pure comedy. Now, not only that, but Deku goes and he actually is stuck with Bakugo, and there's a bunch of villains surrounding them, and they're like, "Don't worry, we won't kill you. We'll just beat the crap out of you and say we killed you. You see, we're not so bad after all." And Deku stabs him in the freaking foot, the way nature intended it to be. And the guy is starting to yell, and Deku actually cuts off the guy's freaking knee off, and the guy is basically limping. Then the other guys are like, get him! And, well, Bakugo and Deku start kicking ass and taking names, per freaking usual. And they start punching their way out, and just basically exploding people, cutting people, stabbing people, breaking people's noses. The works. Now, Sergei and Gwen are basically, locked up with freaking Momo and Jiro. So, it actually is helpful for the fact that, Momo is protected still, and not going to be, it is not going to be a pain to, try to find. But, other than that, give me a moment here, people. Alright, I'm back. So, he basically looks, what was I gonna say? So, after the whole situation with, Sergei and Gwen, what's the word? We cut off to Deku. Deku is, still, ready for pounding people, but, Bakugo is kind of tiring out. And he doesn't know why, but it's due to the fact that Deku is fighting people on one side while Bakugo has to fight people from multiple areas, because Deku is trying to find a way out, and Bakugo is trying to find him, but every time he's trying to run with him, Bakugo is finding an enemy that's trying to attack him, and well, Deku is like, hey, Bakugo, are you alright? This is when Bakugo says, yeah, but what are all these people doing here? And Deku says, this must have been a ploy from so-and-so, so they can drag one of us and try to use us for testing. Bakugo says, how do you know that? And Deku says, well, they kind of told me. He says, wait, are you working with them? And Deku says, no, that's not it. They tried to capture me the other day, but I didn't want to say nothing because, well, they have my brother. Wait, you have a brother? And Deku says, yeah, his name is Victor. they have him, and he's turned into this weird monster. And Deku just looks down he looks down in one of the buildings, and he sees Shigaraki's face, and he says, "Bakugo, how good are you with landing and using your explosions?" This is when Bakugo says, well, I can do it. It's just going to hurt my feet if I try to land. Not only that, we're at a high enough building. Exploding would hurt. Doing that much explosions will hurt me. And Deku says, "Oh boy, leave it to me." And he grabs him and basically just holds him. He says, "When I give the signal, let off an explosion that you can handle, and I'll take the fall from there." And he says, "Wait, what?" And basically these two start falling. Deku's back is on the Deku is facing his back down to the ground, and he says, "Now." And basically Bakugo lets off an explosion, and it basically cushions whatever, hold on here. It cushions, quote unquote, since Deku is basically the one that looks like a weird meteorite has landed on the ground. And Bakugo is basically trying to, wake him up, but Deku is like, "I need 5 more minutes. Just let me sleep this off." And, Deku just has this, feeling of regeneration happening to his body. And he's like, I can't even be knocked out. I could still get up after this. Which kind of impresses him still, but it's annoying. Think about it. You're trying to get drunk. You feel it. It's about to happen. And then after that, your health, your regeneration, is trying to destroy it because it acts as a poison, and your body tries to take that poison down. But because Deku has not a hyper regeneration, he has a good he has a regeneration factor. It just dulls the drink to where all you're just drinking is crap. So Deku was like, "Well, I can't do anything about it." But yeah, it's going to suck. Either way, well, let's just go. Let's just go. Deku and freaking Bakugo make it, and he sees Aizawa getting hurt. The same way that the Nomu, or the original Nomu, would have done it. Kind of worse, because he has his claws wrapped around his skull, and basically it's scratching him, so it's leaving some scars on him. And after all that, Deku is pretty much just mad, and using all of his force that he has, just slams his fist down to down to Victor's face. And Victor is on the ground, and then he gets back up, and then looks at him and growls at him like a monster. And this is when Deku sees what Shigaraki's about to do, and when he grabs him, Deku is surprised because what he sees is bits and pieces of his arm falling off. And this is when he grabs his claw and it scratches Shigaraki, but only leaving a bit of blood dripping, since he didn't actually cut him, he only grazed him. This is when Shigaraki says, "Nomu, kill him." And this is when the Nomu just gets back up and basically attacks Deku. And Deku says, "Oh, I was surprised for you, buddy, or brother." And just basically pulls out a sword and slashes him in the freaking stomach. Now, this is when he says, "Alright, I cut you, so why isn't he going down?" And this is when he gets kicked. Basically, his back is slammed into the wall again. And and basically using the sword as leverage to get him up, he says, "I thought this sword was supposed to take away his soul, and at least, do all that mumbo jumbo." And this is when the ghost within him says, Yes, it was supposed to do that. But I don't know what's happening here. This is the first time I ever saw the sword not work. And this is when he starts trying to use his Ghost Rider abilities, but it's not working. This is when he says, I take it that the blade is dulling our power, or our link with each other. This is when he says, yes, how did you know? Because I was trying to use you, or at least use your power, but it's not letting me do anything. This is when Deku is like, alright, so we're going to kill them now. And this is when he drops the sword, and basically it scatters away, and Deku is just transforming into the rider, and he grabs his chain and basically lets it out on freaking what's his face, Victor. Victor's not feeling a thing, but he grabs the chain and starts pulling him back and basically slamming him to the wall again and again and again. And this is when he says, alright, that's enough out of you, and uses the flames to start burning Victor. And he just basically kicks him in the chin, causing Victor to basically fall back and growl at Deku. But Deku, with his hand, basically uses the claw and scars freaking Victor's chest with an emblem of 3 claw marks. And after all that, Victor punches him in the face, but slams his head onto Victor. But this is when Logan slams his head onto Victor's head, and basically causing a headache. And after that, Deku, with both of his claws, just charge and stab right into the freaking onto his chest. That's what I try to say. This is when Deku basically turns back into his human mode and just starts punching him and wailing on top of him. Bakugo sees what Kurogiri's trying to do, and he actually attacks Kurogiri and Shigaraki at the same time, leaving these two in awe. Now, after all that happens, Deku is just basically punching and slamming, actually cutting off his hand, cutting off his freaking leg, and after that, cutting half of his body off by just repeatedly slashing at him. This is when Deku is raged out, and he sees freaking Victor. And Victor is actually tearing up. Deku is stopped for that brief moment, and he's wondering, wait, what's happening? Isn't he supposed to be... He didn't say nothing beforehand. And Deku is just thinking to himself, what's happened? And why is he like this? Deku is stopping his attack. And Victor is just tearing up. And Deku knows now what he has to do. He grabs his sword and he stabs it into Victor's heart. This is when Victor is telling... Well, he's telling freaking... Victor is telling Deku with his tears, basically end my life. And Deku is doing that. Deku is ending his life. And what happens after that is the sword uses its power now. And Deku is looking through his soul. And he sees what Victor what Victor was trying to say. See, the sword now can basically use it as a medium to connect for at least a brief 5 minutes. And these two are talking. And Deku is saying, "Brother, I'm sorry for what I've done." And Victor says, "It's alright." This is when he says, "It's alright. You can't be serious. I killed you. I ended off your life. You should be hating me. You should be yelling at me, calling me an idiot. I killed you. There's no way that I should..." This is when Victor cuts him off and just basically hugs him. Deku is like, "Why do you have to die? Why was it you?" Deku is... well... Deku is just... he's just sad. Victor holds him and tells him that everything will be alright. Sure, he's dead because of Deku, but he loves his brother. And he wouldn't hold it against Logan. He did what he had to do, which was to kill him. Victor was going to die either way, from old age or at least being killed after killing hundreds and having the government kill him off. At least it was his brother. At least it was his brother. Now, after that whole situation, Deku... what's the word? I forgot what the word is, but Deku starts telling him, "Alright, I'm going to kill him. And after that, I'm going to kill the man named One for All." One for all? All for one. Yeah, I'm going to kill All for One. And Victor says, "Before you go." And Deku says, "What is it?" Basically, Victor tells him, "I want you to eat my heart." And Deku says, "Wait, what?" But believe me, I know what I'm doing. And I know what I'm saying. I've done it with mother and father. They've given me the strength. You have the strength. You will have their strength if you eat my heart. Not only that, it's better if you do it. It'll give you a major boost in your power. Yeah, sure. You may be the Ghost Rider." And this is when Deku says, "Wait, how did you know that?" And Deku says, and then Victor says, "I could see still, and I could see that you're, I could see it, I could see in my eyes, but I can't do anything but just look while I'm doing stuff. And I saw how you tried to use a sword on me. Not only that, your little girlfriend." And Deku says, "How'd you know that?" And he says, "I didn't. I just made you tell me." This is when Logan says, "I'm going to miss you, bro." And this is when Victor says, "Me too, little one. Now go." And this is when Deku gets out of his stupor. And what I mean, and if you guys don't know what a stupor is, it's basically, think about it as like a point in time where you're blank or you're drunk. Your mind is blank, so you're thinking, and it makes you look like you're not doing anything at all, and it makes you look dead. Or stupor also means different things, but yeah, he gets out of that. He gets out of that freaking mind screw. That kind of meditation state, and he basically starts clawing at the freaking chest, and he rips out a huge heart. And Deku is basically opening his mouth, and people are looking at what he has doing, and they're all like confused. This is when Victor smile, his happiness when Deku was with him. Everything leading up to that point was basically just shown into the light, and he basically bit a chunk out of freaking Victor's heart, and he eats it like a wild animal. And Deku basically gets bigger and buffer, and looks around, and he sees Shigaraki, and he basically is running at him at top speed. Not only that, using his freaking all fours, and basically just jumps up in the air and starts claws at him. This is when Kurogiri just uses the portal to teleport Deku, but Deku is basically clawing his way back out. And this is when Shigaraki says, "This can't be." Give me a moment here. So, Deku is basically just trying to attack Shigaraki. And this is when people on Shigaraki's like team, the League of Villains, like the bad guys, basically trying to grab him. But this is when he just like pushes, this is when he pushes his freaking arms backward or arms away from them and just starts clawing at them. And he realized that he has something that he didn't know. He's grown claws. Not only that, he actually has fangs now. And basically he's using that to his advantage. Clawing them, scratching them up, stabbing them. Deku is now a new man. A man that's lost it all. Somebody who could have had a family. Could have had his brother. But no. All he has is that broken heart. He has nothing more than just sheer anger at the people who've done him wrong. And he's grabbing them. He's tearing them apart. He's ripping them limb from limb. Shigaraki's telling Kurogiri to let's go. This man's more trouble than he's worth. And after all that, Deku just basically is looking around. And all he sees is a blonde kid hugging him and telling him to hold on and just to calm down. Deku is smelling, and he knows who this is. And Deku is just calming down. He's holding him. And this is when Gwen says, "I knew it." This is when Sergei says, "Wait, what did you know?" And he says, "Well, there's going to be, 3 people now. There's a third person in the car. I'm not going to have more than that's the only person that's going to be there. That is the only person, and nobody can tell me anything else besides that." This is when Deku is basically looking at the villains, and he's turning into his Ghost Rider form, and basically like walking towards them. But this is when All Might comes, and Deku just sees All Might, and All Might says, Have no fear, because I am here. And Deku says, well, it's about freaking time. Now, Deku is just passed out. And after all that, Deku is like woken up to the sight of Bakugo and Gwen. And Deku says, ugh, what happened? Why? Where am I at? Why do I feel so tired? And this is when Deku sees Bakugo and Gwen, and he's like, what are you two doing here? And this is when Gwen says, well, Bakugo has something he wants to say, and I already think you know what's happening. And this is when Deku says, wait, what's happening? And Bakugo just charges, basically jumps on him, and just gives him the kiss of the lifetime right here, people. We're talking about prime time, tongue and tongue. We're talking about a sausage fest here. Let's see. Somebody, a black lady in the choir is saying, it's raining men, hallelujah. It's raining men, hallelujah. So, I forgot. Hold on here. Sheesh. Oh, yeah. Gwen says, well, I talked to Bakugo here, and he says that he actually has feelings for you. And I thought to myself, as much as I never condoned that part, like, at first, I decided, why not? He's fat. He's a part of us now. Sure, we could have gone with Momo or Mystique, but we know Junior has a soft spot for her. And Deku says, well, this is something. And basically he passes out again. Because the whole fact that the person he cares about likes him, and now it's like he never wanted this to happen, but at the same time, it's better than nothing. So yeah, he's just passed out, and that's pretty much it. And I'm going to actually leave it off here for a while. Now, like, comment, to subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with here. Bye.